Hey, what's going on, guys? Josh from Trail Built, and we are back in front of you guys today. We're gonna show you our Black Label lighting rock lights. Nick here has this Wrangler that you see behind me, and he just got done doing an install on the rock lights, and we're gonna talk about some of the advantages of them, what the kit all includes, some pricing, some of the benefits of the kit, and why you should run them. So make sure and smash that subscribe button so that way you guys can hold on to the ride with us. Ready? Let's go. All right, guys, before we jump into the Black Label rock lighting, don't forget that right now until July 24th, which is only 2 weeks away, we have our Icon Vehicle Dynamics giveaway going on. So you can win a suspension from Icon Vehicle Dynamics valued up to $3,000, and the best way to enter that giveaway is by heading on over to our website, it's trailbuiltoffroad.com/giveaway, and picking yourselves up one of these awesome Trail Built Icon t-shirts. Plus, the proceeds, a percentage of the proceeds go to our friends over at the Wounded Warrior Project Foundation to help out their programs to help the veterans live happy and healthy lives. So it's going to a great cause as well. So make sure to check that out, and you can also click the link in the description below. All right, let's get going. All right, guys, so right off the bat, one of the biggest reasons that you'd want to upgrade to rock lights on your rig is obviously so that way when you're out on the trail, you can see the obstacles that you're about to run over, especially at nighttime. Even in winter wheeling, you know, when the trails are dark and it starts to get dark here in Wisconsin early, you have the rock lights on, you can see the path in front of you, and it's also a safety visualization thing as well. People can see you a lot better with your rock lights on. But the biggest thing is helping to prevent damage from not seeing those trail obstacles. So with that said, we went ahead and we laid out 3 different kits here from Black Label Lighting, which, by the way, you can find if you go to our website, it's trailbuiltoffroad.com, and then click on the store tab in the upper banner there, and that'll bring up a bunch of different icons on the store. You can scroll down, you'll find rock lighting right underneath in one of the pictures there. Just click that and it'll give you multiple different options for these rock light kits. The ones that we have laid out here, we have a red, green, and blue rock light kit, which is multi-color changing, red, green, or blue. It does provide you with a, it's an off-white or like an eggshell white or maybe more of a yellowish light. It's not gonna be a real bright white. The other kit that we have in front of us here is gonna be the RGBW, which is red, green, blue, and white. That kit does start at $175, and it does come with 4 light pods, the LED pods. However, you can upgrade to either 8, 12, or even a 16 light pod kit with the RGBWs. And then we do also have just a regular white as well that runs for about $150. So with these 3 kits that we have here, these are our most popular selling rock light kits. So what these kits all come with is, first you're gonna get these LED pods, which depending on what kit you go with, for example, this RGBW kit has 6 different diodes per color, so they're gonna be super bright. It's about a 28 watt kit, so you're definitely gonna have enough luminance there to light up the trail ahead of you. Whereas like just the RGB kit for $135 will have 3 different diodes per color. So still pretty bright, but you're not gonna get that bright white like you will with the RGBW. So the other thing too, a couple other advantages with this kit is the fact that they are in a cast aluminum, which does resist corrosion, and they're also powder coated too. So it'll help prevent, you know, the rust from getting in there, or just the elements from getting in there, salt or wherever it is you may be. They are weather resistant and water resistant. So now that doesn't mean you can submerge them. You don't want to get stuck in a mud hole. You got to remember, guys, these are rock lights, which means even though they are weather resistant, you don't want to keep them submerged in water. Up here in Wisconsin, it's kind of hard not to do because we have a lot of mud holes up here that we do our best to avoid. But if you guys do get any mud on these rock lights and it covers them, make sure and get those cleaned off before you use them again, because even though LEDs run a lot cooler than like incandescents, you still want to keep that mud clear from the surface because it acts as an insulation and it will heat up enough inside of here that it'll actually start to melt this clear lens here. So make sure to keep these wiped off and keep them clean if you do get any mud or sand or anything like that on them. So the other thing is too is these plugs are all weather resistant as well. They all have a seal on here, a little rubber gasket, little O-ring that protects the weather and salt and water and anything else from getting up into these plugs. And two, when you guys go to install your rock lighting kit, just make sure that you're being careful with putting these plugs together. They are orientated, so they do line up in a certain position to make sure that the pins are lining up on here just right. And when you slide them together, it is just a matter of taking your time, and sometimes you got to give it just a little bit wiggle. The one thing you don't want to do is when you're installing these is put a lot of pressure on them to push them together, because you'll end up damaging a pin or bending one of the pins, and we don't want that to happen. So just make sure you're being careful when putting these together, but they all are weather resistant. They're all high quality plugs in here. These rock lights, each one does come with a 15-foot lead on it, which in most circumstances, like Nick's Jeep here, that's plenty of wire. You shouldn't have to purchase any of the extensions that are available on there as well. Like for example, these are 5-foot lead extensions that you can purchase if you're, maybe installing some rock lights on, a longer buggy, or maybe like a 4-door crew cab, long box. Then you might need the extensions, but in most circumstances, you won't need the extensions, because typically 15 feet is enough to get you to each corner. So, and then with that said too, how these are controlled is with the red, green, blue kit, the RGBW white kit, they all do have this external remote here, which is RF frequency controlled. So you can hook it right onto your keychain, and it's just a simple on-off switch. They all have their inline fuses to protect any shortage or any damage from short circuits or anything like that. And then the RGBW kit is also Bluetooth compatible. So to me, I think that probably wouldn't get used at all. I think I would just use the remote, as it's a lot easier instead of having to sit there with your phone and pick out the colors. But you do have the option. The white kit, just the white, does have an option to upgrade to that remote and Bluetooth capability. Otherwise, it does just come standard with a push button, which is super simple. And then these two, if you do have some sort of switch pod hooked up in your rig already, then you can even direct wire this right to one of the switches in your switch pod, like how Nick has his wired up here. So quite the quality kit. The other thing is, with these black label lighting kits, you will get all the hardware. They come packaged really nicely in these static resistant, spark resistant bags. You do have the other option to upgrade for $45 to a lifetime warranty as well, so that's a nice feature. And then you can also pay for expedited shipping too if you were in a hurry to get them. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna check out how Nick did his wiring and his lights and show you what they look like when they're turned on. We're gonna darken the lights in here, turn on the lights, and that way you guys can check it out. So if you do have any other questions on these rock lights, you can just let us know in the comments below. But definitely make sure and check them out again, trailbuiltoffroad.com, and then just click that store tab and then look for the rock lights in the store. So, all right, let's check out Nick's Jeep. So just to give you guys a basic idea how Nick installed his rock lights, he went with the white, just the all white kit, and mounted them high enough in here where it would be where these lights would be out of the way. Now they do have a low profile light pod here, so they're not gonna protrude out very much at all, maybe about 3/8 of an inch. But he did mount them here so that he would have plenty of visibility down, shining at the axle and the suspension, which is another good point. If you do have a coil spring that breaks or shock, or even one of your drivetrain components at night, you can at least see that it happened for one, and then if you need to do a trail fix, you can also use the rock lights to make it easier to see when you're fixing your stuff. So another good advantage there. And then this is an Anictic Go with the 8 pods as well. So he's got 2 in every corner. So it's really up to you how you mount them or where you want to mount them, but it does come with the screws to mount these up in your upper wheel wells or wherever you want to mount them. We'd recommend obviously keeping them out of the elements as much as possible. Of course, they're going to be exposed here, but just remember to keep them clean if you're going through mud, sand, or anything like that, or even snow. You know, if you get them built up with snow after a while, just brush them off occasionally, just to help prevent any of that heat from building up inside of there. And you know, like I said before, eventually possibly melting even the lens that's on there. And if you're trying to install these, you guys do have any questions on them, you can always get a hold of us by email as well at info@trailbuiltoffroad.com. And then we'll also have a link posted that goes right to these rock lights in the description below. So that is all I got for you guys about rock lights. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions. Other than that, we appreciate all of you for watching. I'm Josh from TrailBuilt, and we'll see you guys out on the trails.